to own the fallout after Trump and Elon Musk undermined an earlier bipartisan agreement.
Some Democrats sarcastically calling Musk, President-elect Musk, criticizing his involvement in this. A violent attack in Germany at a Christmas market.
German authorities say the suspect driver is a 50-year-old doctor from Saudi Arabia. They have yet to release the man's name, but he is said to live in Germany since 2006 with a permanent residency permit. The man was arrested at the scene shortly after plowing his car some 1,200 feet through the crowded Christmas market, injuring dozens and killing at least 5, including a small child. Authorities say it was a targeted and deliberate attack. The motive is still unclear, but authorities are continuing to investigate, saying the man rented the car he used to barrel through the crowds of people.
Fox's Chanley Painter mourners lit candles and placed flowers outside a nearby church. A rocket fired by Yemen, slightly injuring 16 people in Tel Aviv. The attack comes days after Israeli airstrikes against Houthi rebels. America is listening to Fox News.
This holiday, give the gift that will spoil any Fox fan in your life. Get all of your favorite Fox News podcasts commercial-free on Apple Podcasts with Fox News Podcasts Plus. From Dana Perino, Will Kane, Brett Baer, Martha McCallum, Brian Kilmeade, The Five, and so much more. All commercial-free. Plus, bonus and early access content, including Fox News audio holiday specials. Go to foxnewspodcasts.com and gift a subscription of Fox News Podcasts Plus. It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year through. Fox News Audio presents the Fox Nation Investigates podcast. A look into the Menendez brothers with victims or villains. Then, Judge Jeanine Pirro and a panel of experts break down their new fight for freedom with monsters or misunderstood. And follow 3 incredible cases where world-renowned forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Baden helps change the course of the investigation with the Baden Files. Listen and follow starting January 7th at foxtruecrime.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Holiday travel season.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The audit says something is off. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending this hour. Indiana leaders are pushing for Medicaid reforms after a federal audit uncovered $56 million in improper payments for autism services. The report found many payments for ABA therapy, which helps improve communication and social skills, didn't follow state or federal rules. Spending on the therapy skyrocketed from $14 million in 2017 to $102 million in 2020, the second fastest growth in the country. Senate Minority Leader Shelley Yoder says leaders need to take responsibility and make sure resources are used correctly. A handful of car dealerships in Indiana is being sued by Indiana's Attorney General. Harrison Silcox explains why.
6 dealerships have been mentioned in lawsuits filed by Todd Rokita's office. Those dealerships are accused of taking on some bad business habits. Complaints from customers include cars being sold without titles and some that aren't even street legal because of salvage titles. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Special Judge Fran Gull lifted the gag order in the Delphi double murders case after sentencing Richard Allen to 130 years in prison Friday. Carroll County Prosecutor Nick McClellan says he believes Allen acted alone.
We don't believe any other actors are involved. We don't have any evidence to support that.
McClellan at a press conference on Friday. Allen's attorneys say an appeal is coming. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Now your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Tonight, partly cloudy, low temperatures in the low 20s, and for tomorrow, mostly sunny. High temperatures climbing into the mid-30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
All the real deals are at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. And before the year comes to an end, take advantage of all of the tax savings. Deduct the total purchase price of qualifying equipment, including commercial vehicles, purchased or financed during the year. At Andy Moore Ford, they'll help you maximize your savings by helping you select the right vehicle for your needs. And they've got all the commercial vehicles. Andy Moore Ford has the biggest Super Duty inventory in the whole state. Over 100 Super Duty trucks are on the ground and ready for you and your business. Listen, right now, you can save thousands on medium and heavy-duty commercial trucks because Andy always gives you more. Get it, Andy Moore? More. With an expert team and a fast turnaround, they know how to keep your business moving. Treat your fleet to more uptime and more efficiency, which means more profits. See for yourself why businesses like yours love Andy Moore Ford. 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield or online at Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com.
Don't stress about plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest. Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is the Second Amendment, and this is the Gun Guy.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang, bang.
With Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Gun Guy Show here on 93 WIBC. We're thrilled that you're with us, as we always are. We've got a lot to talk about. I'm excited about this show. We're heading into the holidays, and we're about to start a new legislative session here in the Indiana General Assembly. There are going to be several bills. I've been in a lot of discussions here really for some number of weeks, leading up to the end of the year and the beginning of the legislative session starting in January, with others involved in the Second Amendment fight here in Indiana. We've got the Indiana State Rifle and Pistol Association, which is really the local state affiliate of NRA, and we've got a new NRA ILA manager here for the state of Indiana. John Weber, who has moved on to other things within NRA, has been our NRA rep here for some number of time. We've got a new gentleman. I just got to meet him via WebEx yesterday, and he seems like a fabulous guy. We're going to have a lot more to talk about in that area here in just a bit. The National Shooting Sports Foundation, which is really the industry organization for retailers, those involved in the firearms industry, gun ranges, retailers, manufacturers. That's NSSF. And a lot of times you'll hear anti-gun people out going, "Well, NRA is just a mouthpiece for gun manufacturers." No, that's NSSF. NRA is designed to be a grassroots organization that actually represents gun owners like me and you. But I've been in conversation with these folks, and Indiana State Rifle and Pistol Association in particular, and Kelly and Avon, who calls the show often. He is the co-director of legislative affairs for ISRPA, and his co-director, as was announced right here on the Gun Guy Show, is Representative Jerry Torr, outgoing representative, who's served, I want to say, 26 years. Jerry listens to the show, so I'll probably get a text if that's wrong, but served for a long time and had an incredibly productive, distinguished career in the Indiana General Assembly and helped us so much on so many Second Amendment bills within the General Assembly. And Jerry's not the kind of guy that goes out and seeks a lot of limelight and a lot of attention. He's not active on social media, and at least not about politics. If you want to know how to make the very best grilled cheese sandwich on the planet, then you want to follow Jerry Torr on social media. And his restaurant reviews are outstanding. But he's pretty low profile on the political side of things. But he just gets things done, and he always has. And there have been so many times on high-profile bills, and I'm talking constitutional carry. I'm talking about the free 5-year license that we got done in 2019. I say my because I wrote it, but Jim Lucas was the person who offered it in the General Assembly, the self-defense immunity bill that we had in 2019 as well. Church carry, which was 2019, which is huge. And people lose track. People whine and complain, yeah, it took too long to get constitutional carry done. I get it. I was in the fight for 10 years. No one's more frustrated than me about the 10 years it took to get the Indiana General Assembly to pass constitutional carry. But in the middle of the whining and the complaining, we need to step back and look at what we've accomplished over the years. And Jerry Torr's been right square in the middle of that. And there were so many times when things were about to blow up. And a lot of times it was infighting. You know, I mean, all the muskets weren't necessarily pointed outside of the foxhole when we're trying to get things through, whether it's the Republican caucus in the House or issues as between the House and the Senate. And I'm a guy who is a little too prone. I'm a litigator by nature. That's what I do for a living. My primary job, I'm a litigator. I go to court and I fight. And I fight until I win. And that's my nature. And politics, you need to be a little bit more sedate, a little bit more mature, frankly, than having an inclination to want to throw a grenade over the wall at the sign of opposition. And Jerry Torr was always the adult in the room. And he was always the guy who could take a deep breath and in a very calm, very, you know, in a mentor-like fashion, just get things done. And the fact that Jerry's now co-director of legislative affairs, and we've got longtime president of ISRPA, Charlie Hill-Toonen, and hey, I'm the first to admit, is Kelly a friend of mine? Absolutely. Is Jerry Torr a friend of mine? I'm honored to be his friend. Charlie Hill-Toonen, president of ISRPA, Indiana State Rifle and Pistol Association, dear friend. You know, and we shoot sporting clays together and have had a lot of fun together and have had the occasional meal or cocktail. But the good news is this is an incredibly, I think, proficient team, experienced team to continue the fight, to continue to not only protect and enhance Second Amendment rights in Indiana, but also make sure that we're playing defense and we're fending off those things that the anti-2A crowd tried to get done every year in the Indiana General Assembly. And we're going to see it this year. We're going to see it this year. We're going to see, I'll guarantee you, there'll be an assault weapon ban. There'll be a so-called safe storage bill. And what's that mean? I mean, what's wrong with safe storage? And I'll get more into this when we get into what we expect coming up this session. There's nothing wrong with safe storage. I wrote a book on gun safety. I spent a appreciable amount of time and a number of pages in my book talking about safe storage. And I've taught thousands and thousands over 30 plus years as a firearms instructor. I've taught people firearm safety and firearms handling, and I've never taught a class yet where I didn't emphasize the absolute requirement for you, if you're going to be a responsible gun owner, to make sure you're storing your firearms securely. What's that mean? It means they're inaccessible to anyone who's not trained and authorized to possess your firearms. That could be the kids in your house. It could be someone who breaks into your house, and whoever else might be present in your home who's not trained and authorized your guns, and it applies in your car. It applies wherever you have your firearms. They're not accessible to people untrained or unauthorized to possess your firearms. But so why would I oppose a safe storage bill? Well, we'll get into that when we talk about what's coming up in this session. But I really just mean to preview that, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the team. I'm excited about the team from NSSF and NRA and ISRPA, and I'm there representing the 2A project. And listen, we have some improvement to do within the 2A project. We've been incredibly effective. And I'm not shy about saying it was 2A project and 2A project members who were right out front when we got constitutional carry done in 2022. If you don't know what 2A project is, it's a gun rights organization that I started about 2020. And we had as a primary objective the passage of constitutional carry. We got that done. And 2A project members, man, you guys rocked it. You wrote emails. You made phone calls. You showed up in committee hearings. It was fabulous. You showed up in your blue T-shirts. And while the ladies from Moms Demand and the other anti-2A people were there and they were doing their thing, hey, we showed up in numbers in the State House, and it made a huge difference. But we also, though, have been going through some growing pains, and we need to get better administratively. If you're a member of the 2A Project and you signed up 2 years ago and you haven't gotten a renewal notice to say, hey, yo, you signed up for 1 year and you need to renew, that's the kind of thing we're working on. And if you ordered a T-shirt and you were late getting your T-shirt or you still haven't gotten it, those are the things we're improving on. We're adding resources this year and we're adding personnel. It's always just been me for the most part. And we're going to get better on the administrative side. We've kicked ass, make no mistake, on the political side, but we need to pay more attention to the administrative side, the fund keeping, the bookkeeping side, all of that. We've got adding resources, and when I say that, making sure we're delivering people's T-shirts and hats and pins and other things that people have ordered from us, and we're going to do a hell of a lot better. But in the meantime, this team of the 2A Project and Indiana State Rifle and Pistol Association and NRA and NSSF, we're going to kick some butt for years and years and years and years to come. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this next session. In the meantime, other things are going on. Yesterday, Richard Allen, the convicted killer of the 2 young girls, Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi, Indiana, Richard Allen was sentenced. He was sentenced to 130 years. He was sentenced to 65 years for each of the murders, and Judge Fran Gall down there elected, and this is a judge's prerogative, the way sentencing works in Indiana, is a judge can sentence someone for multiple crimes, either with concurrent sentences, meaning they run at the same time, or consecutive, meaning you got to serve one and then you serve another. And in this case, he imposed 2 65-year sentences and said they will be served consecutively. So that's 130 years. And that happened yesterday. And it was a series of press conferences given after the sentencing. And one of the people who spoke was Superintendent of State Police Doug Carter, and he had some comments. And I want to talk about Doug Carter a little bit. Here during the show, he has announced that he is stepping down as Superintendent of State Police after a full decade of distinguished service there and a long, multi-decade career in law enforcement. I knew Doug and knew of Doug when he was in Hamilton County in the Sheriff's Department. And he had a distinguished career there before even going into state police and eventually becoming superintendent. But Doug had some things to say, and my name actually came up, and I basically want to express some appreciation for that, and also expound a little bit on what was said and the context, and we'll talk a little bit more about the point that was made, because I think it's an important one. It's an important one for anyone who is reading media reports, including listening to the radio. I mean, I did nightly commentary on the Delphi trial. And Donnie Burgess, who was covering it for the newsroom here at WIBC, and we came on Hammer and Nigel, and we talked about the Delphi trial and the results of the trial nightly for weeks. And we talked a lot about what appeared to us to be a basis for reasonable doubt that the jury would likely have, given the evidence. But the commentary and the point that Doug made and the point that he referenced that I had made previously on the radio, right here on WIBC, it bears some additional discussion. And I want to do that. And I also want to spend a little time really making sure people understand who Doug Carter is, what we're losing as Superintendent of State Police, and just the kind of guy he is. And that's a big deal. To me, I wouldn't say we're close friends. We've had breakfast a number of times. We fought like cats and dogs over constitutional carry. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but always with a handshake and a hug and a smile before and after the fact. But I want to give a little praise and recognize the distinguished career of Superintendent Doug Carter. We'll talk about that when we come back and get on to other topics, including this legislative session. Talk a little bit too, a little lighter subject. You planning on gifting a gun to somebody as part of the holidays? There's some do's and don'ts, but there's also some advice I can give you on not making a really bad mistake on buying the wrong kind of gun for somebody. That happens so often when people buy guns as gifts. I see it over and over. I've seen it for 30 years, and we'll talk to you a little bit about that, and hopefully help you from making help you avoid making a bad mistake if you're thinking about gifting a firearm here these holidays. Right now, we're taking a break. This is Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Kendall and Casey.
When the property tax reform bills are passed, I'd just like to nominate Rob Kendall for the Sagamore Wabash. I actually heard that discussion last week, and I was in a vehicle listening to my favorite radio station. Yeah. Okay? And I heard it loud and clear. I just want a pen that it was signed with.
Kendall and Casey. Weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Guy Relford for Tactical Firearms Training. And our most popular class is Essentials of Indiana Gun Law. This is 4.5 to 5 hours of the most important legal information you need as an Indiana gun owner. And we've got one of those coming up on January 25th. It's going to be at Indy Arms on a Saturday, January 25th, 9 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. It's $50 for an individual, $95 for couples. Gift certificates are available. You're looking for a last-minute stocking stuffer, looking for a last-minute gift for the new gun owner in your life. Hey, what better gift could you give them than the education on the laws they need to follow as someone who owns, possesses, and certainly carries a gun in Indiana? Got to know what the laws are, or else things can go south very quickly. That's Saturday, January 25th, 9 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. at Indy Arms on the northeast side of Indianapolis. And also another one coming up, and again, gift certificates available for this one too, March 15th out at Parabellum Firearms and Indoor Range in Avon. And we're going to teach each of those. If you want a gift certificate, you want to send someone, you want to go with someone, and also give them a gift certificate, just go to tactical-firearms.com, click on upcoming courses, add whether it's the individual course, the couples course, multiple individual courses, whatever you want, just add to cart. And then when you're checking out, then just in the note to seller box, just put on there, hey, I want a gift certificate, and tell us the name, and we'll email you a gift certificate. You can print at home and have that available to gift here just in the 3 or 4 days we have before Christmas. So check it out at tactical-firearms.com. Click on upcoming courses at tactical-firearms.com.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Absolute Comfort. Chris Wedekin is the owner, and he tells us why many homeowners are giving up their air conditioners for a high-efficiency heat pump.
By removing your air conditioner and replacing it with a heat pump, you are not only saving by getting a higher efficiency air conditioner, the heat pump works in reverse and saves you money in the wintertime as well.
See if a heat pump is the right move for you by going to AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela from the Michaelis Corporation. How do you make sure your crawl space is dry, clean, and secure?
Have Michaelis come for a free inspection. We are a local family-owned business that's been serving Indy for over 39 years. Plus, we offer 0% down on crawl space work.
Make sure your crawl space is clean and dry. Foundations, basements, and crawl spaces. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call or text 844-FIX-INDY.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The holiday season is here, and your shopping begins and ends at Premier Arms in Brownsburg. 3754 South Green Street, PremierArms.com. You've got the firearms with Premier Arms, the accessories, all at fantastic prices, new and used firearms, and of course, PA Jewelers, the jewelry store inside Premier Arms with the one-of-a-kind jewelry selection, the diamonds, the gold, the silver, the gemstones, everything you want this Christmas season. Get a gift card today to Premier Arms. It is the gift that they will love this holiday season. PremierArms.com.
Express the heartwarming message of Christmas this year. Let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be that special moment that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Second to none on the Second Amendment. This is The Gun Guy with Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back. I'm Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC. So, news conference yesterday after the sentencing of Richard Allen in the murder of Abby and Libby in Delphi. And there were comments made by several of the folks involved, including law enforcement, and Superintendent Doug Carter was one of those, and he included in his remarks these comments.
There's an attorney in Indianapolis by the name of Guy Relford, and I heard Guy on the radio after the verdict when a lot of hate mail came, death threats came. And I heard Guy Relford say that day on the radio, and I called him 15 minutes after he said it. And after 40 years in this business, I never thought about the jury's perspective. But he said the only people that mattered in that courtroom was the jury. And he went on to talk about, he's a very bright attorney. He went on to talk about what they can see that we can't, that you couldn't. They could see the defense. They could see the state. They could see the witnesses, feel the emotion, and they could see Richard Allen. I'd never thought about that perspective because we have a singular view most times. You, me, it's human nature. Judge Gall was a keeper of the peace in that courtroom, but the people that mattered were those 12 jurors. And we have a system of justice that allows them to decide the fate of a human being. That's what our founders had established. And that's what they did. I hope you all understand that what you say and how you report matters more than you can ever possibly comprehend. This is an opportunity for us to all learn about what social media is and isn't, what we should do and what we shouldn't, and understand that their words have consequences to other human beings. I appreciated Guy's perspective, and it changed my view of the criminal proceeding. Richard Allen knew.
And let's stop it there. And listen, I don't play that. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back by replaying Superintendent Carter's comments. What I really want to do is one, thank him for being so gracious as to mention that, but expound on that point, because listen, one of the things I did, I mean, again, I did nightly coverage for 2-3 weeks, where almost every night I was coming in down here, or I was calling in, and Donnie Burgess, who from our newsroom, who I'm devastated to say has left WIBC for bigger opportunities elsewhere in Bloomington, and in television and print media. And Donnie's a fabulous reporter, and we're going to miss him here at WIBC. But I was doing a lot of coverage, and a lot of the coverage I did, and this was on Hammer and Nigel, was on looking at what evidence had come in that day. And listen, I'm the first to admit, I'm a defense lawyer, and I think like a defense lawyer. And a lot of what I heard, and again, this is at least secondhand in terms of the reporters that were allowed in the courtroom. And Donnie was part of a pool of reporters where they couldn't all be in there at the same time. It was just too small of a courtroom. So they had sort of this revolving, more or less lottery system among the reporters, to where only some of them could be in the courtroom. They would take notes, and then they would come out and share their notes with the other reporters. So you've got somebody watching evidence being presented, witnesses testifying, documentary evidence being introduced, pictures, tangible objects being introduced as exhibits. Then you've got a reporter observing this with whatever perspective they're having. You got them then writing that down in their notes. Then you've got them taking those notes, giving them to other reporters. And you got then those other reporters are coming back and reporting on that. Then you've got me listening to that reporting and offering my perspective. And listen, there's a reason, for instance, in the rules of evidence, there are a lot of restrictions on the admissibility of hearsay. What's hearsay? That's stuff you don't know directly, that you heard from somebody else. And it's got a much more complex legal definition than that, but that's essentially what it is. And why is it that hearsay is not admissible in the courtroom? It's because it's inherently unreliable. You remember the game telephone that you played in grade school? At least we called it telephone, but the teacher would walk over, they'd line everybody up like in a big square, and the teacher would walk over and would whisper something to the first kid, something like, "The cow is brown." And the job was to turn to the person right next to you and repeat it, whisper it in their ear. And then the next person would whisper it in the next person's ear. And you'd go through every kid in the classroom, come all the way back around, and it would come back out, "Jack is stupid." I mean, it would bear no resemblance to what was first said. That is passing on information indirectly through human interaction. And listen, that's not faulting anybody's coverage. Least of all Donnie Burgess, who's a rock star as a reporter. And I don't know the other reporters down there, but I'm sure they're competent professionals as well. But my point is, when you hear media reports generally, and then you hear commentary based on those media reports, just know this, and this includes what you hear from me when I'm recounting what happened in a courtroom somewhere based on 1 or 2 or 3 levels of communication among other people. It's a flawed system. And the point that I made on the radio, because I had pointed out, in fact, one of the tasks that Hammer and Nigel gave to me, and you may have heard it, was they said, "Guy, why don't you come in? You're a defense lawyer, and we're going into the closing arguments at the end of the Richard Allen trial. Why don't you come in and we'll just give you 5 minutes. And why don't you give us 5 minutes of your closing, if you're the defense lawyer, for Richard Allen in Delphi?" And I did. And I gave what I thought was a compelling argument. And by the time, like I typically do, by the time I get through hearing myself talk, I'm pretty much convinced myself, which is the nature of the beast. But I mean, there were things to talk about why there was reasonable doubt. After the verdict came in and he was found to be guilty, then I had people calling me up and they wanted me to say, in fact, people here on WIBC wanted me to say the jury got it wrong And this was a travesty of justice. And a lot of other people, I've heard a lot of other commentators, including right here on WIBC, saying the jury got it wrong. It was a miscarriage of justice. And listen, the appeals haven't started. There are a lot of legal rulings, most of which went against Richard Allen's team. And who knows? You could see another trial because there are a lot of appellate issues out there. But I was unwilling to say the jury got it wrong. And that's the context of the comments you just heard from Doug Carter and about something that I was honored to hear that it changed his perspective on the issue, and that he appreciated it and he passed it on to his team of investigators. And that is that whatever view I have, whatever opinion I have of what happened in that courtroom, and listen, I come here to WIBC, I get paid to talk about my opinions and my perspectives. And I'll always offer those, and I'm not shy about it, and I don't pull punches. But my opinion is flawed. And I'm the first to admit it. And any other commentator, I don't care who they are, their opinion is flawed. Why is it flawed? It is inherently flawed. And the reason is because they didn't sit in that jury box for every single day of that trial. And Doug talked a little bit about this, but let me expound because he had more important things to go on and discuss in that press conference. But that jury sitting there, they got to hear the admissible evidence. A lot of us through media reports and otherwise got to hear about stuff that's not admissible in evidence. And listen, if I've been frustrated in the courtroom where I go to offer evidence and it's not admitted and I'm frustrated, I think, man, I wanted the jury to hear that. Yes, but the rules of evidence exist for a reason, and the rules of evidence are designed. Are they perfect? No. And do things sometimes get excluded that ought to be admitted? Yes, and that's why there are appeals. But the rules of evidence are designed to only allow the jury to hear evidence that has credibility, that has a foundation, that has authenticity associated with it. And a big source of conflict at any trial is what's admissible and what's not. And the rules of evidence aren't perfect, and lawyers aren't perfect in how they apply them, and judges aren't perfect in how they rule on them. But they exist for a reason, and that's to only allow juries to hear credible evidence. And that goes right back to hearsay, right? Because it's inherently unreliable. It requires documentary evidence to be authenticated. It is what it purports to be. Otherwise, we're not going to allow the jury to see it. The jury got to see the admissible evidence. The jury got to judge the credibility of the witnesses, got to look at the witnesses in the eyes. I could hear through media reports what a witness said, but I didn't get to see their demeanor. I didn't get to see the tone of their voice. I didn't get to see what eye contact they did or didn't make. I didn't get to see them, do things like cover their mouth when they spoke, which is a trait of somebody not telling the truth. I couldn't see any of that. All I know is the words that got reported back to me on what came out of their mouths. The jury got to judge the credibility of the witnesses. The jury got to see the reaction of the parties, including Richard Allen, as evidence came in, as exhibits were displayed, as pictures were put up on the screen. The jury got to sit there in that room and see all of that. So did I have an opinion? Did I think there was reasonable doubt in that case? Yeah, based on what I heard. But my point is, my opinion is flawed. And my opinion really, frankly, doesn't matter. I hope it's interesting to people, and I think it's informed by 40 years as an attorney. And I'll always continue to give it. But when it comes to the results of a trial, my opinion doesn't matter. Neither does any opinion. Anybody post it on social media, anybody else on the radio, on television, anybody who didn't sit in that jury box for all those weeks and see all the witnesses, hear all the witnesses, see all the exhibits, judge the credibility of the witnesses, hear the arguments, their opinions don't matter. I don't know how many radio commentators you'll hear come on and talk for some amount of time about how much their opinion doesn't matter. But that's why I made that point. And that's why, by the way, I think juries generally get it right. I've been a lawyer for 41 years this year, and I think juries generally get it right. Are there exceptions? Of course. Everybody wants to talk about O.J. I'll point that out every time I have an opportunity. Did the jury in the O.J. criminal case get it wrong? Yes. As was proven in a civil case later on by much more competent lawyers, frankly, representing the families of the victims. Much more competent than Marcia Clark, Christopher Darden, and the knuckleheads who tried that case for L.A. County. And you're dealing with this incredibly volatile situation where that jury, the members of the L.A. community were still stinging over the Rodney King riots. And there was all this racial tension. And you had a sports hero, superhero. I mean, a unique situation. Did they get it wrong? Yeah. Does that mean the jury system's flawed? No, I don't believe that. Have I lost jury trials? Not many. Yeah, I don't need many fingers to count them, certainly less than on one hand. But did I understand what the jury did? Yes. Was there a basis for it? Yes. Did I think they should have gone my way? Yes, or I wouldn't have tried the case. But I understood the basis for it, and juries typically get it right, and we need to understand that. And there's a reason why we have the jury system that we do. Not just that the founders and their infinite wisdom created this beautiful system of government that we have, including the manner in which civil disputes and criminal cases are being resolved. But it's based on getting the right result, based on facts, not opinions, and not on evidence that is inadmissible for a reason because it doesn't have the requisite level of credibility and authenticity. And I'll leave it there, but thanks to Doug Carter. By the way, you want to know about something about Doug Carter? Again, he's on his way out. He announced he's retiring from Indiana State Police. Here's something that I read in an article some time ago about Doug Carter and his career, long distinguished career in law enforcement. But there were 4 young girls killed in an arson. It was clear arson. And so it constitutes murder, certainly felony murder. And there were 4 young girls that were killed in that arson. And that crime to date has not been solved. And then we had Abby and Libby. That for many years, that crime was unsolved. And Doug Carter keeps a note on his desk at the Indiana State Police as superintendent that has the name of those 6 girls. Kiana, Kiara, Kiriel, Kiani, Abby, and Libby. It's a handwritten note that he's got sitting under a paperweight on his desk, and he keeps it there every day. Hey, that's the kind of law enforcement officer I want working for me. And listen, he's had a long, distinguished career. I wish him well in his retirement. And I just hope we get somebody that is worthy of carrying his briefcase to come in as the next superintendent of the Indiana State Police, because that's exactly the kind of dedicated public servant we need in law enforcement. So that's enough of that. I will move on to what's going on in the legislative session, talk a little bit about Christmas gift giving of guns, and take your calls when we come back. This is Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC.
Republicans have to play as a team. People don't know how they're voting when they actually get to the floor. Wait till the last minute and then cast their vote.
Hear the news.
A man was shot to death by Indianapolis cops.
The suspect ran at them with a machete and a firearm in his other hand.
Another news update is minutes away.
If you're traveling to South Bend today,
quick snowburst, reductions in visibility, possibly down to a half a mile or less.
Temperatures around kickoff time, 25 degrees.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Around here, it's a little less about presents and a little more about presents. To celebrate, to share, and to give thanks. To be there. And right now, you can be there in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any of Hubler's 12 locations or visit drivehubler.com. and choose from over 2,000 vehicles: Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. You can be there for years to come because Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. Happy holidays, Indiana. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations. May your season be full of presents. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
What does the joy of Christmas mean to you? A gift? Time with family? Decorations and traditions? At Shepherd Community, the joy of Christmas is learning to read, feeling safe and loved, finding a stable job, and having a community that cares. Shepherd gives its neighbors gifts of joy and hope for a brighter future. You can give the joy of Christmas to neighbors living in poverty, not just at the holidays, but all year long. Visit caringatchristmas.org/give. That's caringatchristmas.org/give.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's jewelry experts.
Fox News. I'm Deborah Valentine. At least 5 people killed, 200 injured after a driver plowed through a crowded Christmas market in eastern Germany. Fox's Stephanie Bennett.
Now, the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz visited the site this morning, saying today will be a day of grieving and mourning. A 50-year-old Saudi Arabian doctor who first came to Germany in 2006. He is in custody.
The motive's unclear. The man had a permanent residency permit. Record travel forecast. Fox's Madison Scarpino reports from Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport.
AAA expects over 119 million Americans to travel 50 miles or more for the holidays, whether that's by plane, car, or another means of transportation.
AAA estimating that is 3 million more travelers than last year. America's listening to Fox News.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through December 22nd, get Thrillifyingly fast 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract and free Wi-Fi equipment included. Plus, learn how to get a free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile at Xfinity.com. Switch today and keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked in theaters now. Restrictions apply. Requires payable split on auto-pay stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $56 a month for internet service and $15 for Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Big Joe here for your independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical. This holiday season, if you need them, they'll be there. B+W.com or 317-243-3581. For all your heating, plumbing, and electrical needs, B&W has served Indianapolis since 1961. 243-3581. That's 243-3581. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from your friends at B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer serving Central Indiana.
The show about gun rights, gun safety, and responsible gun ownership. This is The Gun Guy with Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back. I'll tell you what, I went way long on that last segment, so we're going to go right into the next break. But when we come back, Frank has been on hold forever. We're going to come back, go to Frank's call. You can also join the discussion, 317-239-9393. That's 317-239-9393. This is Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
Kamala Harris, nobody voted for her in a primary. Forget about the general election. The Democrats just kind of threw her up there after they forced Joe Biden out.
Democrat voters decided that Amy Klobuchar, who looks like everybody's mean grandma, was more likable than Kamala Harris. Yeah. They thought Eric Swalwell, who farts on national television, was a better choice than Kamala Harris.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All the real deals are at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. And before the year comes to an end, take advantage of all of the tax savings. Deduct the total purchase price of qualifying equipment, including commercial vehicles, purchased or financed during the year. At Andy Moore Ford, they'll help you maximize your savings by helping you select the right vehicle for your needs. And they've got all the commercial vehicles. Andy Moore Ford has the biggest Super Duty inventory in the whole state. Over 100 Super Duty trucks are on the ground and ready for you and your business. And right now, you can save thousands on medium and heavy duty commercial trucks because Andy always gives you more. Get it, Andy Moore? More. With an expert team and a fast turnaround, they know how to keep your business moving. Treat your fleet to more uptime and more efficiency, which means more profits. See for yourself why businesses like yours love Andy Moore Ford. 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield or online at Andy Moore Ford, MOHR. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Looking for last-minute gifts? Shane Company can help, even if you're still planning to propose. We have a wide selection of hand-picked diamonds and colorful gemstones in stock for dream engagement rings. Come discover fine jewelry gifts in every price range, curated by our in-house design team and crafted with care to our high-quality standards. At Shane Company, we'll protect your gifts with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Visit shaneco.com to find your store's extended hours and the perfect holiday gifts. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
You've got a Pepto predicament, festive feaster.
Who wants another slice of Grammy's famous pumpkin pie?
I do.
I
do not. I think I need to lay down for a minute. You overdid it on all the family favorites, and now your stomach's throwing a Yuletide tantrum. Undo it with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can get back to the feast and the festivities.
Who's ready for some games?
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Deep in the hidden wetlands of Florida, there's a honey so rare, it's only harvested 2 weeks out of the year. Tupelo honey, the gold standard of honey, specially bottled by Smiley Honey.
Here's why Tupelo honey is so special. It never crystallizes. It's diabetic friendly with the low glycemic index. Pure, unfiltered, and natural. Straight from the hive to your table.
Tupelo honey from Smiley Honey, the gold standard of honey.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and the past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com. Your rights, your responsibilities, your guns. This is The Gun Guy with Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back. I'll tell you what, we've again got a bit of a short segment because I basically did 3 segments all together talking about Delphi. And I do consider to be my friend Doug Carter, superintendent of the Indiana State Police. But to tell you what, Frank's been on hold forever. Let's go to the phone lines here real quick. Frank, what you got for us, buddy?
Yeah. Hi, Guy. How are you today?
Good, man. You doing all right?
Doing fine. Enjoying retirement.
Yeah. Well, good for you. What do you got for us tonight?
Well, you hear all these gun grabbers, and I call them gun grabbers because that's what they are. And I have never heard any of them come up
with any statistics, facts, or any other criteria of why guns need to be banned. And maybe you have, because I haven't found any of them yet. It's all based on emotion. And I learned a long time ago, emotion doesn't fix much of anything. Maybe affairs of the heart, that's it.
Well, no, Frank, it's a valid point. And listen, when we're over in the General Assembly, my friend Jim Lucas, representative from District 69, who I've worked with on numerous bills that we've gotten passed into law and have greatly enhanced our Second Amendment rights here in Indiana. Jim has kind of a standard refrain he goes through when we're fighting over gun rights in the General Assembly. And he says that, our arguments when we're trying to fight for Second Amendment rights are based on logic and facts and statistics and reason. And the arguments against us tend to be based on fear and emotion and, to some degree, hysterics. And that's the way it inevitably boils down. I mean, people will stand up and they'll say, well, we shouldn't pass constitutional carry because and then they'll tell a horrible story. And believe me, I'm as empathetic as anybody. And I hate hearing these stories. Well, they'll tell a story about how someone got killed in a drive-by shooting, and a child even. And then they'll say, so we should not pass this bill. And I'm like, constitutional carry and passing it would have no effect whatsoever on what you just talked about. It has no basis. There's no connection. But that's how they try to affect policy. I'll tell you what, we're at the top of the hour. It's time to take a break. It's Guy Relford on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Around here, it's a little less about presents and a little more about presence. To celebrate, to share, and to give thanks. To be there. And right now, you can be there in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any of Hubler's 12 locations or visit drivehubler.com and choose from over 2,000 vehicles. Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. You can be there for years to come because Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. Happy holidays, Indiana. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations. May your season be full of presents. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Pat Sullivan here. Fire emergency? I've had one. If you do, call Michaelis. Owner Richard Michaelis explains why.
Michaelis is local and family owned. 39 years of experience with 24/7, 365 response. The Michaelis Corporation is IICRC certified, restoring your home or business to pre-loss condition or better.
And Michaelis helps you through the insurance process, giving you peace of mind. Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
It's the holiday season. Time to celebrate the moment and save. That means a trip to Barrington Jewels in Clearwater Crossing. Give the perfect gift this year with new design, breathtaking diamonds and gemstones, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, and more. Plus, you'll find all the top watch brands like Oris, Tudema, Yunghao, and Citizens. Plus, pre-owned for even more savings. Enjoy 20% off selected items. That's right, 20% off. Don't wait. Get to Barrington Jewels today. And remember, you haven't seen a diamond until you've seen a Barrington diamond.
Hi, this is
Lloyd,
Jessica,
Robert, and Adam
from Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning in Pittsboro. The Kirby family wishes you the merriest of Christmases and happiest of New Year's. Thanks for your business. We really appreciate it. If you live in Hendricks or surrounding counties and need us, we are always here to help. Kirby services any model, and we proudly install American Standard products. Call us at 317-892-3614.
Kirby is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Happy holidays from Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning.
This holiday season, visit Boot Barn for top quality gifts that pay tribute to the lasting heritage of the West. From handcrafted cowboy boots and American-made felt hats to leather jackets, our in-store experts will help guide you as you shop, assisting with boot fitting and providing complimentary hat shaping. This holiday, share a piece of the American spirit. Boot Barn. unwrap the West.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
I'm Deborah Valentine, Fox News. President Biden has signed the new government spending bill passed in Congress overnight, narrowly avoiding a government shutdown. Fox's Madeline Rivera reports from the White House.
It funds the government at current levels and adds more than $100 billion in disaster aid and $10 billion in economic aid for farmers. What it does not include is a debt limit increase, one of President-elect Trump's key asks. The Senate passed the bill 85-11 shortly after midnight. The House approved the bill earlier Friday evening, 366-34, with all 34 noes coming from GOP members. The president signed the bill this morning after publicly staying out of the spending fight. They wanted President-elect Trump and Republicans to own the fallout after Trump and Elon Musk undermined an earlier bipartisan agreement.
The move led to some Democrats to sarcastically refer to Musk as President Elon Musk, criticizing his involvement. A day of mourning in Germany after a driver plowed through a crowded Christmas market, killing 5 people and injuring hundreds. Fox's Stephanie Bennett reports from London.
Authorities say at least 5 people have been killed, 200 others are injured, 41 of which are considered serious injuries. The city's mayor says they will be holding a memorial service at the local cathedral. A suspect is in custody and is being questioned, and a lot of questions for him at this point. And the attack happened around 100 miles west of Berlin in Magdeburg, just 5 days before Christmas. The market was obviously packed with people spending their Friday night with family and friends. Witnesses say a car drove at high speed, plowing through the crowd. Chaos and confusion then ensued.
The motives under investigation. Baseball Hall of Famer Rickey Henderson has died at the age of 65, according to TMZ. Henderson was suffering from pneumonia. America's listening to Fox News.
Will Cain had you covered this election.
Brett Baer joins us now. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy joining us on The Will Cain Show. Tommy Lahren joins us now.
It's the new must-listen podcast in America.
I think Sanity, I'm hoping, is going to win today.
What they did was the biggest miscarriage of democracy, I think, in my lifetime.
I see a victory for Donald Trump. I see a victory for America.
The Will Cain Show. Listen and watch now at willcainshow.com. We're bringing forecasting grit to the gridiron. Fox Weather is storming the field with the risk of weather impact on the hottest NFL matchups all season long, delivering unmatched insight from the leader in weather news and how the forecast could affect your favorite players. We are taking you right into the end zone with Fox Weather's exclusive weather forecasting technology and the risk of weather impact for every single game of the regular season. Listen to Storming the Field every Friday on FoxNewsPodcasts.com.
The nationwide Amazon strike
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Heading to the president's desk. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending this hour. Indy Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder has released a statement about the Social Security Fairness Act passing the U.S. Senate. In it, he said the act is part of an effort to right the wrong done to our nation's law enforcement officers. Essentially, former first responders and some other professionals are not eligible for full Social Security benefits, in part because of their pensions. This bill could change how much those retirees receive. The Attorney General's office is suing some Indiana car dealerships for deceptive business practices. Harrison Silcox reports.
Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita is targeting 6 dealerships in the state after his office received complaints from people buying cars from them. Those complaints included cars being sold with missing titles or people getting cars with salvage titles that aren't street legal in the state. In short, people weren't getting what they were paying for. Rokita is hoping one solution for these customers is getting their money back for the bad buys. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
This weekend, you can once again experience the Festival of Carols at the Palladium in Carmel. Assistant Artistic Director Michael Davis tells WIBC's Terry Stacy,
when you hear this kind of music live, there's nothing to describe it. It's all the things that kind of make the season what it is.
Get tickets and learn more at thecenterpresents.org. The average price for gas across the state is currently $3.12 per gallon, according to GasBuddy.com. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Tonight, partly cloudy, low temperatures in the low 20s, and for tomorrow, mostly sunny, high temperatures climbing into the mid-30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Latrell spent more than 8 years in foster care. His world changed when he was adopted at 15 with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
I think about how much we love him, and I wish we could have had him for his entire childhood.
The foundation is changing the lives of thousands of teens waiting in foster care. You can help. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is the Second Amendment. And this is the Gun Guy.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang, bang.
With Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back for hour number 2 of the Gun Guy Show here on 93 WIBC. By the way, if you want to watch the show on YouTube, you can do so. Go to YouTube, just search for 93 WIBC, and you'll see the Gun Guy Show come right up. I just looked over at the YouTube feed. There's a chat feature on there, by the way, and it's kind of hard for me to keep up with it, but I try to, like, especially during breaks, look over and see what people are talking about, and people will ask questions on there. If you don't want to call the show, we always love it when you do call 317-239-9393 to join the discussion. But you can also join through the chat feature on YouTube. And I just look over at the feed, and it looks pretty cool because the monument all lit up with Christmas lights is right there over my left shoulder here in the studio. A beautiful 40 monument circle downtown. And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool time of year to be down here. But let's talk about what's going to go on this next session of the Indiana General Assembly. What do we expect to see? And listen, every year, I've been involved for a lot of years in what's going on over in the legislature. And I've made some good friends over there. And, you know, another little commentary from me is, you know, I hear all these people that want to whine and bitch and complain and accuse and talk about politicians and talk about the Republican Party in Indiana. And listen, you hear a lot of that right here on WIBC from different commentators, different hosts. And they always want to paint with this incredibly broad brush. Oh, they're all corrupt. Oh, they're all just out for themselves. Oh, they don't accomplish anything. They're just trying to stay in their position of power. Oh, they only do it because they want to lord over other people. I mean, it just goes on, and it's frankly tedious because you can't come to that opinion. Is some of that true as to some people? Of course it is. And do we have politicians who really are in it for their own self-serving reasons, their own selfish reasons, who really aren't trying to accomplish anything for the citizens of the state of Indiana? Well, yes, we do. Yes, I don't deny that for a second. But you have to be pretty stupid and you have to be pretty lazy to paint them all with the same brush. Because when you go over there, when you actually spend some time in the General Assembly, when you're not just on social media or on broadcast media, whining and bitching and complaining, and you actually go over to the State House and you attend committee hearings, or you ask for meetings with legislators, you catch them in the hallway, you work with people, you propose bills. I've lost count of the number of bills I've written or edited at the request of a legislator or testified in favor of and met with, organized with legislators in the Indiana General Assembly. It's well over a dozen. There's half a dozen that I've written and gone over there and fought like hell to get them passed. And there's a lot of different areas to fight. It's not just the committee hearings. A lot of it's in the hallways. A lot of it's in the offices. A lot of it's negotiation. But when you get off your ass and you actually go to the Indiana General Assembly and you work with legislators, you figure out who are the ones worthy of the kind of disdain we hear about them all the time. Oh, they're just selfish. Oh, they're just in this for their own self-driven reasons. And you learn to the ones who are really trying to do something for their constituents, who actually care about issues before them. I mean, I'll give you an example. This is somebody who's been in the General Assembly now for really quite a while, not as long as some. And a lot of people have lost sight of this, and this is not someone I've always agreed with. This is someone I've had, frankly, screaming contests with, where we're so mad at each other, we're yelling at each other, calling each other everything but honest. Okay, it's on a very limited occasion, and over one issue that's been long since resolved to the betterment of Second Amendment rights in Indiana. But let me talk about one legislator, just as an example, Jim Toms, senator from Poseyville, down by Evansville. Do you know the reason that Jim Toms ran for the Senate? And I want to say late 1990s, early 2000s. It was right after we got our lifetime license. It was really driven by a legislator who since has left the General Assembly, much to our disappointment for Second Amendment rights anyway, Johnny Nugent. But Jim Toms was a truck driver. He's a blue-collar, hard-working guy. And he's a two-way guy. In fact, he has a group down the Evansville area. I believe it's called Second Amendment Patriots, and they have regular meetings. And they talk about fighting for Second Amendment rights. And he saw all the efforts at the state and federal level to erode our Second Amendment rights. And I've talked to him about this. I've sat one-on-one with him and heard these stories. And it's 100% credible. It's 100% honest. And he sat there and said, you know what? These bastards in the legislatures, both in the state and the federal government and Congress, can't be trusted. And somebody needs to go in there, participate in the process, have boots on the ground, and fight for Second Amendment rights in Indiana. And the best way I can do that, again, this guy's a truck driver. Yeah, you work with Jim Toms, you understand very quickly he's a very smart guy. And he's incredibly effective over in the Indiana General Assembly, notwithstanding the fact that he and I have had some disagreements. But this is a guy who was specifically concerned about Second Amendment rights, and that was his only motivation to run for Senate. And notwithstanding the disagreements I've had with him, would I ever in a million years paint him with a brush of, oh, well, he's just in it for himself. Oh, he's just, he's controlled by his contributors. He's controlled by the lobbyists, his donors. They dictate his agenda. That's ludicrous. If you spent 10 minutes with this guy, much less hours and hours with him, which collectively I have over the years, you could no sooner say that than fly. It just doesn't hold up. Doesn't mean he's perfect. Doesn't mean he doesn't make mistakes. Doesn't mean You can't disagree with him on policy on whatever issue you might be discussing. But he's there for the right reason. He ran for the right reason. He wants to stay there for the right reason. And the people on 2A issues, if you don't think these people are believers, because they take so much crap for their pro-2A stances in the General Assembly, and there are people that will primary them. And I mentioned Jerry Torr, who didn't run, and we're going to, oh, Lord, we're going to miss him, especially as chairman of the Judiciary Committee in the House. But he got primaried, and he and it was complete misinformation. And in the general election, it was worse, where people were talking about what he voted for and against on Second Amendment issues and tried to spin it that he's some complete wacko on guns. And there's a political price to pay when you draw a hard line and say, no, I'm going to fight for Second Amendment rights. And all the emotion goes back to the caller we had before the break, because all the emotion, oh, you don't care. You care more about guns than children. That's the kind of crap we hear as Second Amendment advocates, and you hear it more when you're an elected official, because there are going to be people who are your constituents who vote in your district who don't agree with you on guns and on Second Amendment issues. And you got to have the spine to stick to your beliefs, your commitments, and what you believe to be in the interest of the majority of the voters and the constituents in your district. And you don't think Jim Lucas puts up with an unbelievable amount of crap as he fights for Second Amendment rights? And Ben Smaltz and Peggy Mayfield? And over in the Senate, Aaron Freeman, who's a great senator. He was a complete rock star. I'm convinced he carried the ball to get us through the Senate on constitutional carry when we got it passed in 2022. His statements from the floor before the final vote on constitutional carry were unbelievably powerful. Good guy, good lawyer, good legislator. And these are people, when you work with them, when you sit down with them, they believe. They have principles. They have commitments. And none of them are perfect people. None of us are. But you can't get involved in this process and not understand there are good people who are there for the right reasons, who are really trying to do good things for Hoosiers. And that's my soapbox for the evening. Come back and take a break. Come back. We'll get into some specifics on what we're trying to accomplish here this next session. This is Guy Relford on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Once again, you've heard the bell and answered the call for the 30th anniversary WIBC Radiothon for the Salvation Army.
Sam is still counting. We'll have an official total.
Presented by Financial Center. You've helped families in need throughout central Indiana.
Certainly, Merry Christmas for many in our community. $506,349.
Thank you from Financial Center and 93 WIBC.
Guy Relford for Rock Op Defense Solutions. These are manufacturers of high-end fighting rifles located right here in central Indiana, located in Avon. And if you know where Fort Liberty Firearms is, that essentially is the storefront. Rock Op Defense is right behind them. And you can see Rock Op Defense Solution rifles right there in Fort Liberty Firearms in Avon. And I know what I'm talking about when I talk about Rock Op Defense rifles, because I own one. And my AR that I got from Rock Op is the highest end, highest quality AR that I own. And I've owned and do own several high-end ARs. This is my favorite one. It's the one I'm going to take to training with me. It's the one that I'm going to grab in a self-defense situation in my home. It's my carbine, my AR from Rock Op Defense Solutions. They're incredibly high-end in terms of mil-spec and better. Their standards when producing their rifles. They'll help you with customization. You want to customize your existing rifle. You want to SBR it, take it down to a short-barreled rifle. You need a new barrel. You need a new handguard. You need to change the gas system. That can help you with all that upgrading and optimization. They can also help you with Cerakoting and engraving. They can do all of that and supply you with a brand new high-end as high as you can get anywhere in the country from right here in central Indiana, a high-end fighting rifle in the form of an AR platform rifle. Check them out at rock-opdefense.com. Again, my friends, and I'm a big fan of their products because I own them and I run them and I shoot them. It's rock-opdefense.com.
Around here, it's a little less about presents and a little more about presents. To celebrate, to share, and to give thanks. To be there. And right now, you can be there in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any of Hubler's 12 locations or visit drivehubler.com and choose from over 2,000 vehicles. Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. You can be there for years to come because Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. Happy holidays, Indiana. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations. May your season be full of presents. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Locally owned Cynthia's Hallmark's 4 locations are filled with gifts galore and make last-minute holiday shopping very easy. It's Terry Stacy, and the infamous Christmas Story leg lamp to display in your front window has been a customer favorite this year, and they're back in stock and selling like crazy. So are the infinity mirrors with their fantastic optical effects, another perfect addition to your Christmas display. And for those quick meals you need this time of year, try the Crockstar Dinner Club packets for an easy crockpot meal. I love them. Cynthia's always has the sense of the season with a selection of top candle lines, including Cynthia's favorite Swan Creek candles. Hallmark keepsake ornaments and willow tree ornaments always make beautiful gifts, creating memories every year when they're placed on the tree. Cynthia's Hallmark gift cards, still the best gift of all. Merry Christmas from family-owned Cynthia's Hallmark, 116th and Allisonville Road, 116th and Brook School Road, 96th and Lantern Road, and experience the D56 Village at the world's largest Hallmark store in Greenfield.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. The year-end clearance event is now through Monday. Save 50% off all in stock and special order Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers with extra discounts for cash and 12 months interest-free financing. That's every sofa, recliner, sectional, plus get a free large Big Green Egg with select Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattresses. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery.
One of the real advantages that we have here at Hendricks is the scope of the services that we have to offer in orthopedics.
Whether they have a hip fracture or they're a high-functioning athlete, we're all working towards the same thing.
To have them be able to have an elective surgery safely and then go home also in a safe fashion is of utmost importance.
We very much want everyone to get back to doing everything that they were doing beforehand. We're really invested in it.
Unstoppable orthopedic care. Learn more at hendricks.org/ortho.
Show your true love and spoil her with that one special Christmas gift from Pierce Jewelers that will say, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
Now you've got a gun guy. Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back. I'm Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC. We're going to talk a little bit about what we expect to see in the General Assembly this year, and I think that's exactly what Keith has been holding and wants to talk about. So, Keith, welcome to the Gun Guy Show.
Hey, thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure, buddy. What you got?
Hey, all the great things you did, you want to hit a home run, try this. Like every other state has, seems like, voter ballot initiatives.
voter ballot initiatives? I mean, get people on signed up, registered to vote?
No, I mean like other states do. If there's a popular something the law wants to be passed or amended, or something in the Constitution, to start a voter now. For some reason, Ohio has it, Michigan has it, and we don't.
No,
and if they're really interested in the downtown about what the voters think, to me, that's a no-brainer.
I'm not following you. In voter initiative. You talking about putting something directly on the ballot as a
voter ballot initiatives. That's what.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for your call. The Indiana Constitution has very specific limitations that I won't go into the time it takes to explain that. There's some things you can get on a ballot, some things you can't. But listen, talk about hitting a home run. I don't know how many more home runs we could have hit here in Indiana. Well, there are several, and we've always got work to do. And that's why the 2A project is still swinging with both fists and will continue to do so. But we've done an awful lot of good here in Indiana, and people lose sight of that. People tend to like to whine about government. I get it. There's a lot to whine about, especially Congress in Washington. But here in Indiana on gun rights, I mean, someday I'm going to do a show. It'll be long and repetitive. We're just going to go through it and the kind of laws that we have here in Indiana to protect Second Amendment rights. And listen, I've seen surveys out there that, rank the states based on preservation of gun rights. And if Indiana's not in the top 5 or so, I call BS on these now. The one that I think sometimes gets us knocked down is there are only like 19 states, I believe it is, that have a red flag law, and we have a red flag law. And Lord, don't I know it. I've litigated more red flag cases, I'll guarantee you, than any lawyer in the state. And I'm the only lawyer in the state that's taken the statute to the Indiana Court of Appeals, including on the issue of whether it's constitutional in the first place. And I've also personally participated in rewriting it to dramatically improve it, which we did in 2019. And I worked with the authors of the bill that did that, and I provided specific input, and I wrote portions of the bill. And it's much better than it used to be. But my point is, even with a red flag law, we are still one of the absolute best states in the country for Second Amendment rights. And we have protections for Second Amendment rights here that they don't have in a lot of states, even most states. The preemption law, and I've talked about that here on the show before, that prevents local governments from regulating firearms. It's exactly what it says. Local governments can't regulate firearms. There are certain very limited exceptions. Like, yes, the city can lease Lucas Oil Stadium to the Colts, and the Colts can say no guns in Lucas Oil Stadium. That's an exception. And there are certain other limited exceptions. But for the most part, we don't exist for Illinois for years and years and years. Now, they have sort of a limited preemption statute now. But they grandfathered in all the previously passed crap that they did at the local level. And in Illinois, you can go from one town over to the next village, which they like to call them in Illinois, and suddenly be breaking the law. Suddenly have your gun confiscated, even potentially face going to jail. Because you got this patchwork of inconsistent regulation from town to town, county to county, city to city. You can't do that in Indiana because we have a law that protects us against that. That's huge. And people don't understand how significant that is. And that's just one example. And yeah, it took too long. We got constitutional carry done. So anyway, Indiana, we've hit a lot of home runs, including constitutional carry in 2022. And we are somewhat limited on what we can do on getting things directly on the ballot. The Constitution spells that out specifically here in Indiana. Somebody else has called in and I think wants to say a word about Jerry Tor. Yeah, sir, I don't have your name. I don't think you gave that to producer Jack, but I got you on line one. Are you there?
Guy, this is Jerry.
Oh, hi, Jerry. Oh, it is Jerry Tor. I didn't. All it says unknown Jerry Torr, and I went, okay, some unknown person wants to talk about Jerry Torr. I didn't know it was going to be Jerry Torr. So sorry about that, Jerry.
Hey, thanks for your kind words, but I just wanted to reiterate, you were talking about legislators and some people claiming that they're bought and paid for, and especially the NRA, which in the Indiana General Assembly, I don't remember ever getting a bigger check than like $500 from them in a cycle.
Wait a minute, Jerry, you're not willing to sell all your personal principles and commitments and for $500? I'm shocked.
Well, and especially to an account that I can't spend it personally on anything I want. I can only spend it on campaign advertising.
Yeah, I'm getting reelected. I get it.
And unfortunately, you also, there's a guy right there on the airwaves of your radio station that commonly says that all legislators, hate their constituents. He uses that term, and,
right. Yeah.
And says that they don't care about you, and that's all nonsense. Even I've said for years, even the Democrats who I disagree with most vehemently, but are personal friends, they all, almost to a person, every legislator that I've known, and I've served with, I think 310 over the last 3 decades.
Oh, wow.
And almost to a person, those people were there for the right reasons because they wanted to do what was best for the state and for their constituents. And I just want to make that point because there are some wonderful men and women in the General Assembly that actually make a lot of sacrifices to do it. And so I just wanted to reiterate, because you were talking about that, and I think that's 100% correct.
Well, Jerry, I appreciate that. And by the way, while I have you on the line, did I get that right? I think I said 26 years in the General Assembly?
28.
See, I knew it. I always screwed that. I didn't mean to short you by 2 years, but long distinguished career, and for all your help on all the 2A issues. I mean, look at all the stuff you've got your fingerprints on, from the self-defense immunity and lifetime licenses going way back, through the preemption bill, and there's just goes on and on. I mean, we could spend the rest of the show talking about what we've gotten done, and you've got your fingerprints on all of it for the last 28 years. So for gun owners, and on behalf of gun owners, man, thank you. And thank you for your 28 years of fighting for 2A rights.
Well, I appreciate that very much. But it was all done, as like you pointed out of true conviction and belief in Second Amendment rights. And again, I just wanted to reiterate that all the men and women I've served with just a very few exceptions in the General Assembly, have been there for those same reasons, even if they had a different point of view.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, and Jerry, I say for the most part, I agree with you. However, I do have to say I have met a few rotten bastards.
Well, sure.
which does not have a gender association, by the way. I've met a few that I think are backstabbing SOBs, but listen, let's don't paint with too broad a brush, I guess is the point I was trying to make.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Thank you, my friend. I'll tell you what, we're going into the break here at the bottom of the hour, and let's take a break, and I will get into the legislative agenda here coming up this next year, and continue to take your calls, 317-239-9393. This is Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
Donald Trump has invited President Xi to the inauguration. Your thoughts, Nigel?
It's a total power move.
This is what I expect. On the day of the inauguration, he forces President Xi to eat McDonald's. Like when he brought RFK Jr. into his cabinet, has to sit down and eat a Big Mac. Like, wouldn't you love to see President Xi sitting down eating a Big Mac?
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
All the
real deals are at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. And before the year comes to an end, take advantage of all of the tax savings. Deduct the total purchase price of qualifying equipment, including commercial vehicles, purchased or financed during the year. At Andy Moore Ford, they'll help you maximize your savings by helping you select the right vehicle for your needs. And they've got all the commercial vehicles. Andy Moore Ford has the biggest Super Duty inventory in the whole state. Over 100 Super Duty trucks are on the ground and ready for you and your business. And right now, you can save thousands on medium and heavy-duty commercial trucks because Andy always gives you more. Get it, Andy Moore? More. With an expert team and a fast turnaround, they know how to keep your business moving. Treat your fleet to more uptime and more efficiency, which means more profits. See for yourself why businesses like yours love Andy Moore Ford. 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield or online at Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's full-service jewelry store.
Fox News, I'm Roger Stern. Bells rang out in mourning at a German church of the victims of a car plowing into people at a nearby Christmas market.
According to officials, this was a targeted and deliberate attack. The motive is still unclear, but authorities continue to investigate.
That's Fox's Chanley Painter. The driver is in custody, described as a Saudi doctor living in Germany since 2006. With no time to spare, President Biden signed the stopgap spending bill, a defeat for President-elect Trump, who wanted to include a debt limit suspension but lacked the votes. And Republican Representative Nicole Maliataka says she had to approve the bill.
The choice was either we continue funding for 3 months or we shut the government down.
America's listening to Fox News.
Here is Jiffy Lube of Indiana's COO, Lonnie Hinkle.
Lots of Hoosiers belong to unlimited car wash programs because they want their car to look great. At Jiffy Lube, we're here to help you make sure your car runs great. So to help take care of your car inside and out, Jiffy Lube is offering everyone who belongs to a monthly car wash program a $20 discount and a free tire rotation from now through the end of the year. Just point out your car wash sticker and we'll do the rest. My Jiffy Lube teams are maintenance experts. Our computer system provides all of the manufacturer's maintenance recommendations for every make and model of vehicle, so we know exactly what every car needs to operate at its best. Jiffy Lube is your trusted one-stop shop for all that your car needs to run well for many years. You never need an appointment, and we now offer brakes, tires, tune-ups, and minor repairs at most stores. So stop in on your way to the car wash, save $20, plus get a free tire rotation just for belonging to a monthly car wash program.
Jiffy Lube. Nobody does it better.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Festive Feaster.
Who wants another slice of Grammy's famous pumpkin pie?
I do.
I
do not. I think I need to lay down for a minute. You overdid it on all the family favorites, and now your stomach's throwing a Yuletide tantrum. Undo it with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can get back to the feast and the festivities.
Who's ready for some games?
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Chris with Absolute Comfort. We just want to thank you and your family for business that you've passed to us this year. Our families appreciate everything that you do for us, and we just want to let you know that if you have needs for your man cave or your she shed or whatever the thing is for a family member that you love, we just ask that you give us a call, and we've got some different ideas for you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Absolute Comfort is your Mitsubishi Electric Elite Douglasburg dealer.
Now you've got a gun guy. Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back. I'm Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC. So let's get into a little substance here. What do we expect to see as far as Pro 2A bills in the Indiana General Assembly? I've written a bill, and we've already got it through Legislative Services, and it'll be filed. We may very likely have a number for it here sooner than later. But there's a big problem in Indiana, and I've mentioned this on the Hammer and Nigel show, and actually I mentioned it when Governor-elect Mike Braun was in the studio, and he pledged his support for this. So I'm cautiously optimistic we can get it done, especially because it makes so much sense. But do you know that if you, I mentioned the red flag statute, if you get a red flag case initiated against you, somebody, whether it can be vindictive, it can be just purely retaliatory, it can be totally baseless, but somebody picks up the phone, calls the cops, and says, for instance, hypothetically, oh yeah, Guy Relford, he's my neighbor, and he's crazy, and he's got all these guns, and I see him loading gun cases into his car all the time, and I said something the other day, and he pulled his gun out and pointed it at me and screamed at me and said he was going to kill me. And it turns out, and this is actually didn't have anything to do with me personally, except I was a lawyer involved, those are actually the facts of a real red flag case that I handled. And it turns out neighbors were actually just mad at each other over where they left their garbage cans. One guy was a big sport shooter. He shot trap, skeet, sporting clays, and his neighbor saw him loading gun cases in and out of his car. And they were fighting one day, and they would just yell and scream and cuss at each other over this whole garbage can idiotic issue. But one guy picks up the phone, calls police, and said, yeah, this guy pulls a shotgun out of his car and pointed it at me and threatened me. Totally false, totally fictitious. And thank God for Ring doorbells. Thank God for video. We could prove it didn't happen. We caught the argument. We caught him pointing and screaming and yelling, but there were no guns involved. Do you know that even after you win a red flag case, and I've won the vast majority. Until a few months ago, I used to say I'd never lost one. And so the vast majority of red flag cases I've ever handled, we get dismissed. Do you know that after you have a red flag case dismissed, you cannot expunge that off your record? Even a lot of felonies and virtually all misdemeanors, after a certain amount of time, even after a conviction, you can expunge them off your record. Here, where you've been found to be quote-unquote dangerous, or let me back up, where you've been found specifically to not be dangerous, and the case is dismissed, you can't go back and expunge that off your record. Somebody doing a background check will see, oh, look, here there was a case in whatever county, Marion County, Hamilton County, alleging Guy Relford's dangerous. Well, man, I may not want to hire him to be my lawyer. I may not want to hire him to do whatever job. I may not want him coaching my kids' baseball team. I mean, whatever it might be. I had a client who lost her job as a bus driver. We won her case. We established she was not dangerous, and she couldn't go back and get permission to drive a bus again because even though it was right there's a finding of non-dangerousness, well, we don't like the fact that sits out there and it's on your record. And so I have a bill, and by the way, the reason for that is you can expunge criminal cases, even convictions, and if a case is dismissed or you win it at trial, you can absolutely have that expunged as far as a criminal case. There's no expungement for civil cases, and that's what a red flag case is. So I wrote a bill that says if you're found to not be dangerous or found to no longer be dangerous, either one, then that case is automatically expunged off your record. Boom. Now you get your life back. Even though you won your case. It currently sits right there on your record. That's a bill. We need to have that passed. And by the way, what we're going to incorporate into that very same bill, there's no right to have a lawyer in a red flag case. Again, because it's a civil proceeding. It's not criminal. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights says, in any criminal case, you shall have the assistance of counsel. So you have the right to a lawyer. In a civil case, you don't have a right to a lawyer. You can't afford a lawyer. Guess what? It's you going up against a professional prosecutor. And I have seen this happen. Hamilton County is aggressive on this. People who do not have lawyers, they send you all this discovery and all these things that a non-lawyer is going to be really challenged to figure out how to respond to. And they go in, they have a hearing, and it's really, really hard to win. You don't have the right to counsel currently in a red flag case. You can lose your constitutional freedom under the Second Amendment, but you don't have a right to a lawyer? How the hell is that? Well, it's because it's a civil case. But we're looking at taking care of that at the same time. We're going to take a very serious run, and I'm really excited about this, at Campus Carry. What's that? If it's a state-funded university, they cannot prohibit students, administrators, employees from possessing a gun on campus. They have these in various states across the country. And listen, with the amount of sexual assaults that happen on college campuses, amount of batteries that happen, you got a kid going off to school who may be highly trained, highly proficient in carrying a gun, and he or she is prohibited at the threat of expulsion. I had a kid call me, ended up in tears during the call, because he called me and he was a couple of weeks away from graduating from IUPUI right here in Indy. He got his car stolen out of the garage, the parking garage at IUPUI. He was a good kid. He called the campus police and said, I got my car stolen. And by the way, there was a Glock 19 in the console. And I have the model, I have the serial number. I want to make sure I report it so that if you find my gun, you know it's stolen. I don't want anybody, innocent person getting harmed with my gun. If I can help it, he reported it. Campus police called the administration. He gets expelled. Kid had already been admitted to graduate school. He's 2 weeks away from graduation, was not going to get his diploma, therefore could not go to graduate school because he was a good kid and reported that a gun was stolen because it was in his car. Why? Because IUPUI, even though it's state-funded, prohibits guns on campus. That's not okay. It's also not okay if someone gets sexually assaulted walking across campus, walking home from the library after they're studying for finals, because they're not allowed to defend themselves. Hell no. Working on that. ISRPA and our friend Kelly and Avon and Jerry Torr, they've got a bill that I really like, and it's to prevent credit card companies from discriminating against you if you happen to make firearms-related purchases. Do you know there's a lot of that discrimination going on right now? Hell yes, there is. People are getting accounts canceled, losing their cards, losing their related checking or savings account, not losing the money in them, but having them closed down because of discrimination on two-way issues. That's a big one. And we're pushing for that. I would say those are at the top of the priority list, but there's more going on. There are going to be more bills submitted, and we'll be able to report back to you. And listen, there's a way for you to get involved. We'd love for you to have you as a member of the 2A Project. ISRPA, of which I'm a member as well, would love to have you as a member. The 2A Project, hey, man, that's what we do. We're a 501c4, meaning we can lobby. We can make political contributions. We can be right there fighting for your Second Amendment rights in the legislature. We'd love to have you as a member. We also will be talking a lot about who you can call, who you can email as we get into the fight here once the legislative session starts. But we've got that and more, and we'd love to keep you apprised on that, which I plan to do, and love to have you involved. Right now we're taking a break. We'll be back for the last segment here on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Once again, you've heard the bell. and answered the call for the 30th anniversary WIBC Radiothon for the Salvation Army.
Sam is still counting. We will have an official total.
Presented by Financial Center. You've helped families in need throughout central Indiana.
Certainly, Merry Christmas for many in our community.
$506,349.
Thank you from Financial Center and 93 WIBC.
Guy Relford for Tactical Firearms Training. Our next two Essentials of Indiana Gun Law classes, one coming up January 25th at Indy Arms, 9 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. Gift certificates are available. Hey, you want to gift the legal knowledge of how to stay on the right side of the law with your firearm that you own, possess, and certainly if you carry. That's exactly what is available at tactical-firearms.com. Essentials of Indiana Gun Law, 4.5 to 5 hours of the most important legal information that a gun owner needs right here in Indiana. You can sign up at tactical-firearms.com, or if you want a gift certificate, just buy the number of classes you want. And in the note to seller box, when you're checking out, just say, hey, I want a gift certificate. Give us the name. We'll email you a gift certificate in time for you to print it yourself at home and deliver it as part of the holidays. The next one is coming up March 15th out at Parabellum Firearms and Indoor Range in Avon. Gift certificates available for that as well. We'd love to help your loved one or you yourself be fully apprised on the most important legal information you need as an Indiana gun owner. Just go to tactical-firearms.com, click on upcoming courses at tactical-firearms.com.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Oh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo.
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Planning to propose this holiday? Shane Company is ready to help you find your dream engagement ring. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones in all shapes and sizes. So when you walk in the door, you can trust your rock is in stock. At Shane Company, we've always sourced directly, cut out the middleman, and pass the savings on to you. We work with your budget, not against it. We'll also protect your ring for life with our free unmatched lifetime warranty. Come see us at shaneco.com and in-store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela of Michaelis. If you have water damage, why should you call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. On call 24/7, 365. We are IICRC certified and will restore your space to pre-loss condition or better. And we work through the entire insurance process on your behalf to make it easy.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Breathe in the wonder and joy of Christmas, where the extraordinary often shines through the ordinary moments, through kindness, care, and compassion. At Franciscan Health, we provide care rooted in faith, love, and dignity, and believe life is a gift and every moment is extraordinary. So take a breath and give thanks as we celebrate the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas. Franciscan Health. Love your extraordinary life. It's the Degenerates Next Door, a sports betting podcast for dudes.
Real dudes, not the fake Kardashian-looking like dudes you see on television doing this. The Degenerates Next Door. Download and subscribe today anywhere you get your podcast.
second to none on the Second Amendment. This is The Gun Guy with Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back for the last segment here of The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC. Talk a little bit, and we only got a couple of minutes. Talk about gifting firearms for the holidays. First of all, can you legally do that? Can you go in, you fill out the form, the 4473, it says, are you the actual transferee? If you're buying that gun as a gift, can you honestly answer yes? Because you lie on that form, it's a felony. That's what Hunter Biden just got pardoned for. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm unlikely to get pardoned for committing a violation of federal gun crimes. So you can't lie on that form. Are you the actual transferee if you're actually buying the gun as a gift? Yes, and the instructions, if you go back through the 4473, say that. Now, you have to use your own money. Somebody else gives you money and say, hey, man, go buy that gun for me. That's a straw purchase. That's illegal. But if you're buying a gift in the form of a firearm and you're using your own money, as long as the person you intend to transfer that to is not a prohibited possessor, in other words, they're eligible to buy their own gun, then you can buy it as a gift. And by the way, you have to be 21 to buy a handgun under federal law, but you can legally buy a handgun for someone 18 plus and be under Indiana law because it says that they can't be a prohibited possessor for reasons other than age. So, yes, you can buy your 19-year-old son or daughter a firearm if you choose to, including a handgun. Now, one word, and I've only got about a minute to go into this. There is a myth, and it's starting to die, but I see it pop up this time of year, every year, that if you're buying a gun for a female, a handgun, there's this ridiculous myth out there. Oh, she's a female. You need to buy her a revolver. Women should carry revolvers. That's crap. That's ridiculous. That's wrong. A girl, a female can carry, a woman can carry any handgun a man can carry. Now, do you want it to fit their hand? Yes. Do you want it to be comfortable for them to shoot? Yes. But these little ultra lightweight, like a Lady Smith or a Featherlight and all these different guns that are so light, 38 caliber, short barrels, they're violent to shoot. Yes, they're light and small, but they're violent to shoot, meaning she's not going to practice with it. She's going to hate it, and she's not going to want to carry it because she's not comfortable with it. So take them to the gun store. Let them handle their own gun. Let them shoot them. Rent guns. Do all the things you need to do to make sure it's their choice, then buy them a gun that's going to fit them the way it should. That's the advice I can give you on gifting a handgun. Right now, that's it. This is Guy Relford on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Around here, it's a little less about presents and a little more about presence. To celebrate, to share, and to give thanks. To be there. And right now, you can be there in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any of Hubler's 12 locations or visit drivehubler.com and choose from over 2,000 vehicles. Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. You can